I have this little checklist for Maxx. Here's a list of supplements.
In the background of Miley's most personal music, her day-to-day life, and even her family jokes, you'll find Maxx Morando, quietly chaotic, surprisingly important, and maybe the only person in her orbit right now who doesn't treat her like a brand. This is the guy who co-produced her latest album while getting roasted on a podcast for being useless in emergencies, who's 6 years younger and still somehow the calm one. Today we're talking about who he is, how this relationship came out of nowhere, and why it might just be the most quietly important one Miley's ever had.
Chicken light tax.
Maxx is best known for playing drums in the band Lily, and before that, he was in The Regrets. So yeah, he's not just some random LA guy with good hair. He's been in music for years, long before his name got linked to Miley's. And yes, the hair is objectively great. Let's not pretend it isn't. Now, their origin story, straight out of a romantic comedy. Miley met him through a blind date in 2021. Yes, apparently those still happen in real life. She said she didn't even know who he was before the date, which honestly is the dream. Imagine showing up for a date and finding out it's Miley freaking Cyrus. Meanwhile, Maxx probably just wanted to finish his tacos in peace. Anyway, fast forward to March 2024, and they'd moved in together in Malibu. That's not a casual milestone, especially for someone like Miley, who's navigated some very public highs and lows. This one feels like it's moving differently. And yeah, they've done the red carpets, the Oscars in 2025, the Versace show in LA, but it's never felt like they're doing the rounds. It's not promotional, it's personal. It's like they show up when it matters, and then they go home and hang out with their dog, and maybe look up how to train it on Reddit. I'm not even joking. Miley actually said in a podcast that Maxx raises their dog based on Reddit advice. This was Miley talking with her mom and sister. They all joked about being cougars. Apparently, they're all dating younger guys. And Miley mentioned that Maxx is 6 years younger than her. She's 33 now. He's turning 27. But the way she framed it, it wasn't some throwaway joke. She pointed out that 27 was a huge year for her. Like, full transformation, identity shift, life reset territory. So she's watching Maxx step into that same age and maybe that same kind of moment. She also mentioned he's a Scorpio, which she called out as part of what she likes about him. She said he's got that classic Scorpio sting, sweet on the outside but intense underneath. Emotional depth, a little danger, some edge. It's about someone who has layers, someone who challenges her, someone she respects as much as she loves. Now, here's what really sets this apart from other celebrity couples. Maxx is actually involved in her work. He's a co-producer on her latest album, Something Beautiful. Miley confirmed that Golden Burning Sun was the first song she ever wrote about Maxx, and she called him my Maxie in the most casually intimate way possible. And he even makes an appearance in the visual version of the album, playing drums during a track called End of the World, which is poetic, really. If the world is ending, you may as well go out with a live percussion. It's creative intimacy. And if you're wondering what kind of artist he actually is, he's got that post-punk, alt-rock backbone from his days with The Regrets and Lily, but what stands out is his sense of restraint. He's not doing drum solos for attention. He's setting the tempo and minding his business. He's got that elusive, I'm not online energy, which in 2025 might as well be a superpower. No interviews, no soft launches, just occasional photos where he looks like he wandered into a fashion shoot by accident. And that energy, that kind of confidence without noise, it tracks why someone like Miley, who's had cameras on her since her teens, would find that magnetic. And Something Beautiful as an album, just side note, is kind of a journey. It's this dreamy, future nostalgic, existential pop experience. A lot of the lyrics are about healing, about letting go of the past, about loving without losing yourself. And if you look at the timeline of her relationship with Maxx, it kind of all makes sense. She went through public heartbreak, she did the chaos era, and now she's here, making art that feels a little more peaceful, a little more grown, art that feels earned. And he's part of that. Miley talked with Monica Lewinsky about how in her 20s, she was hyper aware of how she might be judged, especially by the families of people she dated. Back then, her public image included gold teeth, thongs, and the tongue-out pose we all know. It was expressive, it was iconic, but it made her feel like people, especially moms, were judging her. She confessed that she used to dread meeting parents, thinking, they already don't think I'm good enough for their son. Sometimes she'd try to hide, baggy clothes, no jewelry. Other times she'd overcompensate. It wasn't until this current relationship with Maxx that she began showing up fully as herself. She credits age, boundaries, and self-acceptance. There's this one moment that really stuck out to me. In a podcast, Sorry We're Cyrus, Miley admitted that in a real emergency, Maxx would be useless. Not in a harsh way. More like the affectionate kind of roast you save for someone you know too well. She explained that he gets overwhelmed easily, and frankly, probably wouldn't even answer the phone if things went sideways. It's not that he doesn't care, it's just that crisis response is not his lane. She's got love for him, just not counting on him during the apocalypse. Still, there's zero resentment in how she talks about him, just playful honesty. Instead of nagging him to stick to routines, she's figured out her own system. She made him a skincare and supplements checklist. If he's not going to wear his Invisalign or do the 4-step skincare thing for himself, then at least he can do it for her. And the way she puts it, if he keeps up the hair, nails the skin, and eventually gets his teeth in line, he'll be so attractive that she won't even care how late he stays up playing Magic: The Gathering. So, does Miley plan on having kids with Maxx? When asked if she'd ever want kids and if she'd be okay with them going into the industry, Miley didn't flinch. She said parenting isn't about projecting your dreams onto your kids. It's about letting them find their own. She joked that maybe their mom lived a little vicariously through them, especially since she never actually gave them formal singing lessons. But the real message was clear. Some of the best performers never got trained. They just embraced who they were, preferably while dancing like no one's watching, or at least while a little stoned. Now, if you rewind a bit, before Maxx, Miley was famously married to Liam Hemsworth. That whole chapter started when they met filming The Last Song, had that long on-off engagement. Married in 2018, divorced by early 2020. And we all saw it. It was messy, it was dramatic, it was everywhere. But now with Maxx, it's like the opposite. No drama headlines, no emotional press statements, just steady creative collaboration and the occasional PDA caught by paparazzi. It's peace. And after public chaos, peace is power. And they've been together since the end of 2021, and it's mid-2025. That's nearly 4 years of staying out of trouble, growing together, and by all accounts, getting stronger. People close to them say he brings out the best in her, that he's her cheerleader, that he respects her work and matches her pace. And the key word here is mutual. They're not just orbiting each other. They're actively moving forward together. And look, the age gap? Sure, it gets headlines, but the way they handle it is kind of perfect. Miley takes ownership of the cougar label and makes it funny, not defensive. And the age difference doesn't feel like a power imbalance. It feels like a contrast that works. Her life experience, his fresh perspective. It's like they meet in the middle. So what's the takeaway? Maxx Morando might not be a household name yet, but in Miley's world, he's clearly become a cornerstone. He's not loud, he's not flashy, he's not trying to be famous just for being the boyfriend. He's doing the work, both emotionally and musically, and letting the relationship speak for itself. This is about two artists who found a rhythm together and kept it steady in a world that loves to speed things up just to watch them crash. They're not giving us scandal, they're giving us longevity. And in the celebrity ecosystem, that's rare air. If you're into deep dives like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And hey, if you've got thoughts on Maxx, Miley, or your own favorite underrated celeb couple, drop it in the comments. I read all of them. Thanks for hanging out. Until next time.